So, you want to socialise. But speaking to people is just too difficult because of anxiety. But there's a side to anxiety that you haven't seen yet. It's pretty awesome, actually. It showed me exactly where I needed to grow. I went from a socially awkward heap of anxiety at the start of school to being a grand finalist in the youth's largest speaking competition in the entire world. And anxiety, that was my superpower. But how? The sad thing is that nobody teaches you these things in school, despite the fact that you need these skills in things like job interviews, to make friends, to find a damn partner, yet they are virtually non-existent in today's education system. But why do we even get social anxiety in the first place? The answer is simple, and you probably already know what it is, but I want to talk more about how to overcome it. Once upon a time, you had a bad experience socially. For me, it was getting bullied. For you, it might be getting picked on, laughed at, or told that you're not good enough. Or it might not even be that deep. You might have just had a social interaction that didn't feel great and left you feeling down. Human brains are, for the most part, pretty logical. Most people see satellite images of a round Earth and go, look, that's evidence. I guess the Earth must be round then. The same thing happens here. If you're given enough evidence that you're not wanted or desired by other people socially, your brain begins to believe that and you begin to act like that, and because you've acted like that, you believe it more and the vicious cycle continues. But why are our brains just betraying us like that? We're just creating beliefs that hold us back in life, no? Our Homo sapien brains are really good at two things, okay? That's keeping us alive and keeping us safe. Your brain does everything it can to avoid pain. This is why you may get social anxiety. This is why you procrastinate. This is why you may quote unquote self-sabotage. Because pain, at least when we were hunter-gatherers, almost always meant or injury. Avoiding pain kept us alive. Anxiety is your brain trying to protect you from potential pain in the future, ironically by causing you emotional pain. And anxiety was once helpful, productive when we had to run away from wild animals. It's now counterproductive that we're avoiding people. Look, okay, in some social situations, I still think that anxiety is productive. For example, if I had to go to a serial killer right now and go and speak to them for whatever reason, I would have crazy anxiety. Okay, rightfully so. That's my brain trying not to get me. But less productive when I'm trying to make new friends or share my ideas with a group. You're usually not aware of when this process is happening, but it happens all the time. Every day, every second, okay, your brain is constantly trying to understand, processing information that's around you, the people around you, the things around you, patterns around you. In fact, your brain is probably analyzing me right now and is trying to make sense as to what I mean, whether I'm a danger to you or not, whether I'm going to help you or not. Whatever bad experiences you may have had socially, your brain has gone and taken that as evidence. This evidence forms beliefs that cause you to have social anxiety. Beliefs like you can't trust people, everyone is out to get you, or you are not good enough. But back to the round Earth scenario. Why don't most of us look at fake pictures of a flat Earth and think the Earth is actually flat? I mean, yes, I believe the Earth is round, but there's no way for my brain to 100% prove that or 100% see that unless NASA flies me out into space. The flat Earth pictures are technically evidence, even if it's false. But why don't we believe in them? It's because we are exposed to way more evidence for around Earth and have been for years. Just think about it, okay? If you were a teenager and your parents were flat earthers and you were homeschooled in this controlled environment where you were never allowed to look at any pictures of around Earth, just think about it. What do you think you'd believe? Yes, you would 100% believe that the earth is flat. Not because you're young or stupid or anything like that, but just because it's all you've ever seen and it's all you've ever known. The reason why you have all of these negative beliefs about being social is because A, you either don't focus enough on the good evidence that could contrast it, or B, you don't even have enough good evidence to go off of in the first place. If I genuinely haven't met or socialized with any new people in the past few years, can I really blame my brain for doubting in my ability to socialize? No, because your brain doesn't even have any remotely new evidence to go off of. Or maybe your brain does have recent evidence, but is choosing to either ignore it or push it to the side. It could be either one. For me, at the beginning of secondary school, I genuinely didn't have that much evidence to go off of for me being a social person. I hadn't met any new people in years. I used to get bullied in primary school by the older kids, and now I was going to be surrounded by a bunch of kids that were older than me again. That was scary. That was a no from me. On top of that, I didn't really know who I was. Okay, in my opinion, finding yourself is a lifelong journey that I am very much still on. But God, did I not even remotely know anything about myself? What I liked, what I didn't like, where my boundaries were in friendships, what I wanted in a friendship. So I got stepped on for literally all of secondary school. I will say that it got better as the years passed. Like in year 7 or year 8, it was a bigger group of people that I allowed to step on me, but by year 11 it was only one person that I let step on me. But the only reason why that got better is because I began to know myself more. But additionally, if you don't know where your boundaries are in friendships, in relationships, or even in public speaking, if you don't know when to tell the crowd to shut up or more politely be quiet, of course you're going to be socially anxious, because what if someone does cross the boundary? You don't even know where the boundary is or how to react when that happens. So what did I do to overcome this? You need to meet a lot of people. Meeting a lot of people is going to help you find yourself, what you want, what you don't want, where those boundaries are. Or if this is in terms of public speaking, you need to do a lot of public speaking practice. Different people, different personalities, different backgrounds. You need to give yourself the entire mix. But I mean, again, not just do that. Don't just meet people. Don't just give speeches to people. You also need to learn the lessons that come with these social interactions, because you can do that and meet people and give speeches and flop every time, which is okay to flop. Everyone flops, but please learn the lessons from the flop. I'm sorry to break this to you, but there is no way to get better at socializing without socializing. Of course, you can do like the therapy, the perspective changing, the belief changing that we just talked about, but at the end of the day, there comes a certain point where you're going to need to put all of that into practice, and socializing is that practice. And I know I'm saying this and that, and I probably sound a bit harsh right now, but I have been through it. So let us go personal. Okay, we first of all need an anxiety scale, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, did a little oopsie daisy, and then 10 being my body is spaghetti, okay? If I stand up, the anxiety will push me back down onto the floor. So there were 4 rounds of the competition. Round 1 was, maybe like a 6 out of 10 in terms of anxiety, but round 2, oh my God, round 2 was the absolute worst. You know why it was the worst, okay? Because I had to give this speech in front of my very immature, very judgmental old year group. Out of 10, the anxiety was a solid 9, maybe 9.5 at some points. Now, I've got to describe what a 9.5 is in terms of anxiety levels, because some of you might have never experienced a 9.5, but some of you have, and you can relate to this. Okay, it was beyond a panic attack. I can't name a single part of my body that was not shaking. My stomach was doing acrobatics gymnastics. My stomach was throwing a whole damn Simone Biles on me. I threw up a bit in my mouth and then I'd swallow it. I'd throw up a bit in my mouth and then I swallow it. I'm so sorry. This is funny to me now, but looking like actually in the moment, it was absolutely no laughing matter. Look, I don't think I've ever felt so sick without having a physical illness. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm anxious, I get really, really cold, like especially my hands and my feet. So I'm looking at my hands. Please tell me why my pinky is purple. I'm black. I don't think that should be a part of my body that's gone purple. And I'm wearing this big secondary school blazer and I'm still doing but then on top of that, I'm sweating. And not like, oh, I'm hot sweating. Like, no, I am cold and I am still sweating. So despite the fact that my body was experiencing negative 41 degrees Celsius, I can still feel liquid dripping down the sides of my body. I don't know what system malfunction that was, but I say all that to say that I was a wreck. But with every inch of willpower that I had left, I said back straight, okay? Arms sway to the side, face neutral, and right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg. And I got up on that damn stage. The other thing is that like the other contestants weren't doing it on the stage. They were just doing it at the front so the people at the back couldn't see them. But when I went up, I was like, no, they need to see me. And my anxiety was like, what? And I said, girl, they need to see me. On that note, really big thing that helped me was speaking to my anxiety. I did not speak to my anxiety or my emotions like it was the enemy. And I feel like this is like where a lot of like people that tell you how to deal with anxiety, they'll tell you to be like, oh, like we can destroy this anxiety, we can conquer it. And it's like, no, this is not something that you like needs to be defeated. This is a part of you that is suffering. Instead, I spoke to my anxiety like it was a friend. I would tell my anxiety, look, I know you hate this and it's okay to hate this, and it's okay that you nearly made me throw up. It's okay that you've made being in my body like a living hell right now. That's okay. I'll take it. But we are still going up on that stage and we are going up there together. And look, I know this video is about overcoming anxiety, but I didn't try to push my anxiety away. I let it happen, okay? That's why you didn't see easy anywhere on this title or thumbnail, because that's just a blatant lie. Simple? Yeah, I think it's a pretty simple, straightforward process. Easy? Now that's just a blatant lie, because it was honestly one of the hardest things that I have ever done. Was it worth it? Hell yeah. Because the moment I became okay with the anxiety, with the pain, with the judgment, that was also the second that it stopped having any power over me. A lot of people think anxiety means that you can't do the thing ever, but no, it just means that it's more difficult for you to do the thing. But honestly, going through all of that anxiety and coming out of it was a gift. Now I have evidence for my own resilience. Whenever something else challenging comes up, I can just remind myself that you felt the most soul-wrenching anxiety and still did it. Even represented my school, then became a semi-finalist, then became a grand finalist at that. And if I had let that anxiety have that power over me, that would have never happened. Now, that's making peace with the anxiety itself, but some of that anxiety is gonna come from judgment from other people. Not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to like what you have to say. And the second you give up on trying to make everyone like you, you take your power back. If you don't care, they can't control you. They can't influence or control whether you're going to feel good today or whether you're going to overthink today. This is your future and your life. Is this situation or person going to matter 5, 10, 15 years down the line? No? Then they're not worth thinking about. I think that one really important thing to remember is that the world does not revolve around you. Yeah, sure, you might have done something silly in public, and a few people may have laughed at you for a few seconds. And maybe people were talking about, oh, Tara's speech after it happened. But all these people have their own lives, their own responsibilities, their own problems. All people are doing when they laugh at you is they are looking for a temporary distraction from their own problems. They use you for a second, but once that second is up, they go back to having to deal with those own hardships and with their own problems. And then the next bit of gossip takes their attention, and then they're distracted by that. To them, you are nothing but a fleeting thought in their mind. But for some people, this is a bit more serious, and let's just say that this person is taking teasing or bullying you to an extreme. Let's just say they're making it a part-time job. That's even sadder on their behalf. If someone is genuinely obsessed with trying to make your life a living hell, they must be very sad on their own, so they need a bigger distraction to try and escape that sadness. The only reason why people might laugh at you for socializing or doing public speaking or even for starting a YouTube channel, if that's what you want, is because they know that the more you practice, the better you're gonna get at it, and they can't stand you being better than them. Don't let them win. If I had let them win, then you would not be watching this video right now. I would have never started this channel. I would have never become a grand finalist at this competition I'm talking about. I'll link it here if you want to watch my speech. This is your life, and you get to control what you want to do and what you don't do. Don't let them win. But also, there are probably more nice people out there than you think. Heck, I'm assuming that you watching this right now are probably a nice person. You just need to give yourself enough time and enough opportunities to be able to meet these people. For me, I'm hopefully joining a new school in September, and this school has a super huge cohort, so that's hundreds of opportunities to socialize there. Even if you aren't joining a new school, you could strike up a conversation with someone that you've never talked to before but that you've seen before, or you could join a club of people that have similar interests to you, or force yourself to join a public speaking competition like I did. But I myself, when I was forcing myself to do it, I did not expect to come up in the top 15 contestants out of the 30,000 who did it across London. That's still insane for me, and I'm so grateful that I did it with the anxiety instead of waiting for the anxiety to go away, just saying, oh, I'll do public speaking when I don't have anxiety. But the thing is that it actually happened in the reverse order. It wasn't that I waited for my anxiety to go away and then I did public speaking. It was I did the public speaking and then it went away. I wouldn't say it went away completely, but just reduced significantly. But the ironic little secret that I have is that after the second round, the bigger the stage got, the less nervous that I got. And speaking to the other finalists, they said it was a similar story for them as well. At the semi-finals, I was still nervous, but not like 9.5 level nervous. And at the finals, giving my speech to 2,000 people at Cambridge Theatre, I barely felt any nerves at all. I just felt really proud and excited to share my story. That's why I say social anxiety is awesome, really. All I had to do was listen to it, nurture it, until that part of me was no longer scared anymore. But even after this, there still might be a part of you that thinks it's too difficult to socialize and you can't do it. And for that, this video might help. I made it about studying, but it could be applied to any topic in life in general. And if no one reminded you today, don't forget, you're bloody awesome.